अघोर मतलब घोर इज डार्कनेस. आप उसको लिटरल डार्कनेस भी बोलो, नहीं तो मेटाफोरिक डार्कनेस बोलो. Where it's the unknown, the darkness with respect to negativity. एक dark बोलता है ना, the dark web या the dark thing. So Aghor, he or she who isn't afraid of the darkness is Aghori. The Kundalini typically are energy centers, energies, okay, embedded within the body. There are 7 energy centers, starting from the Mooladhara, and it's called chakras. So they're like chakras, and there are different interpretations of how it is visualized. So it is also visualized as a serpent that's coiled. Om Aing Hring Shring Gurubhyo Namaha. That sound. Aing Hring. They're Bij Aksharas. They're very powerful. So when I was at Kailash, on the banks of the Mansarovar, oh ha ha ha. I'm telling you, dude. You sit on the banks of the Mansarovar. एक तो आपको लगता है आप अकेले हो इस यूनिवर्स में, दूसरा आपको लगता है ग्रेविटी है, अदरवाइज इट्स नॉट अर्थ, एंड थर्ड, इफ यू आर स्पिरिचुअल विच वी आर, you will feel a vibration. You will feel a vibration 100%. You will be surprised to know that there are sadhus of either Aghora sect or other sects who have mastered themselves or have gained mastery over their own physicality, that they can also turn themselves into energy. They typically use a young person's dead body to extract through their own kriyas energy of that young person into them.
आघोरी, इस शब्द को सुनकर हमारे थॉट्स सीधा नेक्रोफिलिया, कैनिबलिज्म, तंत्र विद्या, शव साधना, इन सब जगहों पे जाते हैं. बट इज दिस द रियलिटी ऑफ अघोरीज? नमस्ते, जय हिंद. मेरा नाम है जय और ये है द अवारा मुसाफिर शो, एक ऐसा पॉडकास्ट जहां हम बात करते हैं भारत के पास्ट, प्रेजेंट और फ्यूचर की. आज के इस एपिसोड में मैं बात कर रहा हूं मिस्टर मयूर कालबाग से. ही इज एन ऑथर एंड रिसर्चर इन अघोर विद्यास. ये एपिसोड एक मिक्स्ड बैग है ऑफ नॉलेज. You'll get to learn a lot about Aghoris. You'll get to learn a lot about the secrets of mantras, importance of Guru, and how to awaken your Kundalini. If you like this episode, then please do hit the like button and the subscribe button.
हर हर महादेव शंभो.
सर, हमने जब बात की अबाउट द पॉडकास्ट, आई वाज वेरी एक्साइटेड. वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट मल्टीपल टॉपिक्स, बट देन these are all very, in a way, raw topics, dark topics. I don't know if dark is the right word or not, but from a normal person's lens, it's dark. I want to start this particular podcast with the thing we just said, हर हर महादेव. What is the significance of this? ये क्यों बोलते हैं हम?
When you become a bhakt of Shiva, when you start understanding Mahadev with respect to who that entity is, the qualities of Shiva, Mahadev, and once you start getting into meditation, जैसे उनके बारे में सोचना, doing japa, it fills you with a lot of excitement.
Okay.
ठीक है. So हर हर महादेव is in a way how I see it is कि महादेव जब भी जिनके साथ हम अगर कनेक्ट होंगे, जब भी होते हैं, तो हर नेगेटिविटी को हम हरा देते हैं, इसलिए हर हर महादेव. एंड ऑल्सो इट्स एन एक्सक्लेमेशन. जैसे हम लोग नॉर्मली कहते हैं ये मैं पास हो गया. ओके, सो ये अभी ये नहीं करते हम लोग. ये नहीं होता है. इन द स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड इट इज हर हर महादेव. व्हेन यू से इट फ्रॉम योर हार्ट, मेटाफोरिकली, लिटरली तो हम यहाँ से कहते हैं फ्रॉम द थ्रोट, बट जिस इमोशन के साथ हम कहते हैं ना, व्हेन वी से हर हर महादेव, तो एक तरीके से पूरा जो ब्लड का सर्कुलेशन है, जो ऑर्गन्स है, वो भी खुद अपने वाइब्रेशन से बोलते हैं हर हर महादेव. सो इट मेक्स यू फील स्पिरिचुअली वेरी एक्साइटेड. एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड जो लोग आध्यात्मिक जर्नी में हैं एंड व्हेन दे गेट कनेक्टेड टू शिवा एंड व्हेन दे exclaim har har mahadev, it is their way of saying offering the reverence and love and respect for mahadev. devon ka dev isliye mahadev. Yeah, and har har I think it like that कि जो obstacles है, जो negativity है, उसको हरा देने के लिए हर हर महादेव.
Correct.
Right? And maybe my another take would be no hurry in life as well. Only hari hari and hara hara.
Wow. So because बीइंग फ्रॉम अ सिटी यहाँ पे सुनने नहीं मिलता हर हर महादेव, और जिस तरह से आप बोलते हैं उस तरह से बिल्कुल नहीं. यू से इट विद ऑल योर हार्ट. मतलब जब आप बोलते हैं इट फील्स, ऐसा वाइब्रेशंस फील होती है.
फर्स्ट लेट मी आस्क यू, हाउ डू एड्रेस यू? जय
जय
जय. ओके. तो हम हमारे मठ में भी कहते हैं, आपका नाम आता है उसमें.
ओके.
या वी एड्रेस ईच अदर एंड थैंक्स टू आवर गुरु वी एड्रेस ईच अदर एज जय शंकर.
ओके.
तो at least 1,000 times you are remembered with Shankar. Okay, my response to this is क्यों नहीं? मैं तो कहता हूँ क्यों नहीं यार, होना चाहिए. We are not going to give some pravachan to people by saying Har Har Mahadev. It is an exclamation. Okay. मेरा ये point है कि जब कोई शिव भक्त है who adores Shiva, and I know some of the people who really adore Shiva. I've seen them getting conscious when they want to even recite a stotram. I'll give you an example. जटा कटा ही संभ्रमन भ्रमन निविलबन जरी डा डा डा, और एक वड़ा पाव भी देना और ये भी देना. It's there is no surge in the voice. There is no emotion of excitement in the voice. तो हर हर तो कहना ही है, लेकिन you should say it because आपने कहा कि Mayur, how you say it in a particular way. It is not a technique. It is just your भाव. या भावना. अगर मैं कहूँ हर हर महादेव तो उसमें दम ही नहीं यार. When you are remembering देवों का देव, especially महादेव, तो दम तो होना ही चाहिए,
पावर आना चाहिए.
हाँ. And it's not like you're manufacturing it. It's an emotion. Like when you are happy, and when you are happy for a particular reason, and if you meet your Mataji, for example, don't you feel an emotion to explain, मम्मी पता है क्या आता ना, you will not say मम्मी पता है क्या हो गया. Right? So in the similar way, when you are with when you are respecting Mahadev, वो एक दमदार aspect होना चाहिए even in your tone of expression. So rather than saying जटा कटा ही संभ्रमन भ्रमन निलिम्प निर्झरी विलोल, मतलब वो खुश है कि वो forget नहीं कर रहा है, पूरा टिक मार के सब he remembers, but there is no emotion. Rather than that, say it as जटा कटा ही संभ्रमन भ्रमन निलिम्प निर्झरी विलोल वीचि वल्लरी विराजमान मूर्धनि धगत 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 ज्वलल लाट पट्ट पावके किशोर चंद्र शेखरे रति pratikshणम mama. Clarity in the uchcharan, along with it the bhavana, if it comes, you will feel even a change in your own communication yaar. तो मेरा जो ट्रेनिंग का होता है, I'm just bringing it up as an example. As a trainer, whether you're in karate training or in technical training or like me in leadership training, how you speak matters ना. तो मैंने ये देखा कि even like saying Har Har Mahadev or chanting in a particular way, it had its effects even in my regular communication as a trainer.
Wow.
Because I naturally started, because भावना उधर भी निकल के आ गए.
हाँ, so basically एक तरह से आपने आपके हार्ट को पूरा ओपन कर दिया उससे.
Absolutely, open heart surgery तो नहीं हुआ, लेकिन open heart expression हो गया यार.
बिल्कुल. अभी आपने जब वो recite किया, I could see from corner of my eye, ये दोनों के चेहरे पे स्माइल थी, मेरे भी चेहरे पे स्माइल थी, and that's the power. उसके वजह से. My guru, Swami Sadyojat Shankarashram, is responsible for this. Okay. I was at Santa Cruz, colony है हमारी, we are Konkani speaking people. वहाँ पे I address my guru as Swami ji. वो आए थे, and Swami ji encourages youngsters to recite, either sing bhajans or recite stotrams. तो मैं बड़े खुशी से मैंने रिसाइट किया दारिद्र्य दुख दहन शिव स्तोत्रम. वो पुस्तक में था. I had not उसका पाठांतर नहीं किया था, लेकिन I kind of had mastered it to enough to read it. तो वो तबला भी बजाने वाला था, and the
apart from the blessings of the Guru, we would also get Kit Kats, chocolates, okay, as an encouragement. तो there's a reason I'm saying this to you, okay? तो मैं जाके बैठा and I started reciting. मेरे मन में लड्डू तो नहीं था लेकिन Kit Kat था, and स्वामी जी के हंसते from स्वामी जी. So how did I say it as विश्वेश्वराय विषकंठ विभूषणाय कर्णामृताय शशिशेखर धारणाय कर्पूरकांति धवलाय जटाधराय दारिद्र्य दुख दहनाय नमः शिवाय. एक ऐसे 12 श्लोक हैं. मैं पूरा कंप्लीट किया और मेरे मन में हर हर महादेव ऐसे कुछ चल रहा था कि अरे वाह हो गया, स्वामी जी विल बी वेरी हैप्पी. सो व्हेन आई वेंट टू टेक तीर्थ, वो स्वामी जी तीर्थ देते थे एंड उसके बाद किट कैट फॉर द पीपल हु हैव रिसाइटेड. So Swamiji came towards me when I went, I went towards Swamiji. Swamiji came forward and gave me the teerth, then told me to come bend more and said, what are you saying? Dahanaya, Dahanaya. Then Swamiji went back like this and said, Dahanaya, Dahanaya. Okay, so I think after that he gave me the teerth, okay, and I'm looking at the Kit Kat, तो Kit Kat तो नहीं मिला. Go and say it again. मुझे बोला say it again. That changed my life. ये जो आपने कहा ना, ये इमोशंस जो धगत धगत ज्वलल वो जो आता है, वो वहाँ से शुरुआत होगी. Because there was a message in what my guru said is if you're saying it, don't say it as if it's something to रट्टा मार के होता है ना वो poetry स्कूल में, you just by heart and say no, feel it. So when I went back, विश्वेश्वराय विषकंठ विभूषणाय कर्णामृताय शशिशेखर धारणाय कर्पूरकांति धवलाय जटाधराय दारिद्र्य दुख दहनाय नमः शिवाय दारिद्र्य दुख दहनाय नमः शिवाय दारिद्र्य दुख दहनाय नमः शिवाय. So दहनाय means destruction of दुख, destruction of दारिद्र्य. तो अगर आप दहनाय दहनाय, वो डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं होगा यार, उसमें दम ही नहीं है. That one message from my guru changed my life because it altered my way of looking at communication. So काफी साल बाद मैंने बोला स्वामी जी को that like I'm doing communication skills and leadership and I've learned everything from स्वामी जी. स्वामी जी looking at me, you learned communication from me? I said yes स्वामी जी. How? Then I said to Swami ji's way of walking. Oh, the gait, when Swamiji is giving pravachan, the eye contact, the clarity in the uchcharan. I told Swamiji on this. And also that Daridra Dahana thing. So Swamiji had a big smile. And for me, it was a blessing. So this I'm sharing with you, Jay, only to let you know that when we talk about Shiva, when we talk about Shiva Aradhana, when we even do puja, even when we do prayers, किसी के लिए प्रे करते हो, say it with intensity.
Right.
वो होता था स्कूल में, तभी गुरु आए नहीं थे, तभी एग्जाम के पहले, रिजल्ट के पहले फिर मम्मी बोला थी ए ब्रेकफास्ट हो गया, जल्दी आ, जाना है ना एग्जाम के लिए. हाँ आ रहा हूँ. भगवान भी देख रहा है, चलो भाई कुछ तो कर रहा है. दैट इज नॉट. सो इवन व्हेन वी आर प्रेइंग आल्सो, दैट हैज टू बी इंटेंसिटी. शुभम करोति कल्याणम ऐश्वर्यम आरोग्यम धन संपदा. सो यू आप महसूस करो उसको. And there are certain stotrams, Jay, which you need not initially know the meaning of. But you can still say it with intensity, keeping the image of that Lord or the goddess.
Correct.
For example, Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Shakta Prabhavitum Nache Devam Devo Nakhalu Kushala Spanditumapi अतस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहर विरिञ्चादिभिरपि प्रणौतुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृत पुण्यः प्रभवति. So even when you say it, okay, you may not know the technical meanings of it, but it is about a Devi.
Right.
It is from Saundarya Lahari. बस उतना भी रखो and feel the image, the intonations. जो आवाज से निकलता है, जो ऊपर उतार चढ़ाव, द मीटर जो होता है, इट विल हैव एन इम्पैक्ट ऑन योर थिंकिंग एंड योर इवन योर विशुद्धि, योर थ्रोट.
Wow.
I had to give you this elaborate response. Because if somebody says कि आपने पूछा क्यों, मतलब जो आपने कहा धगत धगत क्या है, I need to also explain the context of it, the reason for it, how it happened.
Yeah.
कल हमारे जो viewers हैं वो जब भी pray करेंगे तो now एक तो रहेगा कि यार I'll have to do it properly. And that is very important.
Correct.
और गड़बड़ी भी नहीं होता यार. Some things you have to give it time.
सर इससे एक दो चीज़ मुझे ये भी पता चली जो आपने भी एक्सप्लेन किया, दैट इट हैज़ टू कम फ्रॉम योर हार्ट एंड इट हैज़ टू बी वेरी रॉ, मतलब उसमें बनावट नहीं हो सकती.
Yes, I understand the raw part that you're talking about. I think when you bring a little bit of cosmetic makeup to it, that has a different effect, but the rawness has a different effect.
Yeah.
Okay, when you go to a garden, you have a nice effect, but when you go to a forest, जिनको पता है. When you go to a jungle, you feel वाह यार ये तो raw है raw. Garden is nice बाबा. चलो हम जाते हैं गार्डन में बैठते हैं, थाने वो अपार्टमेंट के बाहर एक अच्छा गार्डन है, वो अलग है, इट्स नाइस तो, बट कॉस्मेटिकली डन. यहाँ पे फ्लावर उग रहा है, वो गार्डनर कर रहा है, वेरी नाइस. बट व्हेन यू गो टू अ जंगल, दैट स्पिरिट ऑफ इट इज सो रॉ.
करेक्ट.
सिमिलरली व्हेन यू चैंट, उसमें भी ऐसा होता है, जैसे ओम भूर्भुवस्वः ओम तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्, दैट्स रॉ. ओम भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं, which is nice.
Yeah.
That's a garden.
Yeah, it's more flowery.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
It's very good. Like people listen to it, but it's a mantra. It's a mantra. It
not
has
a
to be
poem.
raw.
Yeah.
It's not a song.
Yeah.
This is where I come from. I mean, some of the viewers may say, "Nahi, fine. At least something is better than nothing." You have a garden, you have a jungle, you have concrete.
Yeah.
ये concrete तो नहीं. I like to speak in metaphors, okay? I'm sure the viewers will pick it up as well. So go to the jungle, man. उसका जो एक vibe होता है वो अलग ही होता है. In fact, some of the wild flowers are far more beautiful than which have been cultivated.
Correct.
So there are shlokas, there are mantras, and then there are guru mantras. So the shlokas are, I don't think that they're garden, but they do have a flow, right? जैसे जटा कटा ही संभ्रमन. Now this is kind of raw.
Yeah.
जटा कटा ही संभ्रमन भ्रमन निलिम्प निर्जरी विलोल वीचि वल्लरी विराजमान मूर्धनि धगत 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 ज्वलल्ललाट पट्ट पाव. So there's a bit of more of melody, right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong again. So it depends on what the person feels, the connect. So when I was at Kailash, on the banks of the Mansarovar, oh ha. वो I'm telling you, dude, you sit on the banks of the Mansarovar, एक तो आपको लगता है आप अकेले हो इस यूनिवर्स में, दूसरा आपको लगता है ग्रेविटी है, otherwise it's not earth. And third, if you're spiritual, which we are, you will feel a vibration. You will feel a vibration 100%. Because वो क्षेत्र ऐसा है कि काफ़ी सन्यासी योगीज ने मेडिटेशन किया. वहाँ पे अगर आपने रॉ चैंटिंग्स किए, इवन दारिद्र्य दहन हैज़ गॉट अ मीटर टू इट. बट अगर मैंने कहा विश्वेश्वराय विषकंठ एंड ऑल दैट, वो मैं खुद ही ऐसे ओके अभी तो पिलो चाहिए, इट हैज़ टू बी. तो वहां पे मैंने कहा विश्वेश्वराय विषकंठ विभूषणाय, तो उसमें है एक ट्यून है, बट दैट रॉनेस इज इन द वे यू एक्सप्रेस इट. आई कम फ्रॉम दैट स्कूल ऑफ थॉट, डूड. इट्स नॉट लाइक आई एम राइट और रॉन्ग. आई एम ओनली सेइंग इफ आई मेक इट टू पोलाइट एंड टू कॉस्मेटिक, उसका इम्पैक्ट कम हो जाता है.
बिल्कुल सर, and I get that point. In fact,
tell me, a commander in the army, is he raw or is he what do you call raw? Is he a jungle or a garden?
He can never be a garden.
Got it.
तो purpose ही beat हो जाएगा.
But impact होता है ना when is raw. It's another analogy.
Yeah.
So when
in
you
fact,
chant,
in that film Uri, उसमें वो हाउस द जोश, वो तब तक
हाँ यार,
उसके ट्रूप्स एग्जैक्ट वो नहीं देते
यार. तू मैंने अगर तू पहले बोलता ना ये सब, I wouldn't have said all this. उससे सब कुछ आ गया यार. Imagine if would have said how is the जोश.
Yeah.
किधर जोश ने मिस्टर यार क्या है. So how's the जोश. वो पूछने में ही वो बता रहा है कि बाबा जोश होना चाहिए. Similarly in the spiritual context, when you chant, it has to be strong. And in the way when you use the word raw, I think I've just contextualized it that way.
So You talked about अभी अपने जंगल्स की बात की, अपने गार्डन्स की बात की, तो
ये मेरे को बहुत मजा आ रहा है यार, because you know we are talking about something metaphorically very interesting. Garden, jungle, how's the Josh, and all connected to stotrams and all.
Exactly. And that's the best way. किसी को spirituality समझाना है तो you cannot tell them exactly कि क्या होता है. You need to मतलब show them, but you don't need to show them complete truth क्या है. You let them experiment.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Just lead them. Don't take them.
Yeah.
Just lead them and let them be on their own. Just like how a father teaches a son cycling. Just guide them a bit. Don't cycle for him.
Correct.
वो तो ऐसा रहेगा.
थोड़ा सा धक्का दे.
हाँ, even 30 पे भी पापा किधर है आप, ऐसे होगा फिर. और let him go on his own. थोड़ा गिरो. Then you learn that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. True.
So I want to bring you towards the left hand of the god, जिसके बारे में हमने बात की थी कि हम स्टार्ट उस एपिसोड से करेंगे. वी टॉक अबाउट अघोरा.
Sure.
तो सर आपने जैसे जंगल की बात करी, तो पता नहीं क्यों मेरे दिमाग में जब जंगल से आते हैं तो अघोर भी आते हैं. तो कैन यू टॉक अबाउट दिस कि अघोरीज एक्चुअली क्या है? आई नो यू हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट दिस बहुत पहले भी, बट देयर आर स्टिल पीपल, मतलब मैं खुद शायद उनमें से एक हूँ जिसको अभी भी बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस है अघोरीज को लेके.
True. I don't look at this as repetition, but I look at it as re-emphasis.
Wow.
I look at it as a reassertion of people knowing who they are, because a lot of people still don't, and they're fed with so many videos. I'm not against any videos, but project them in the right way is what I always say. So let me start by saying that simplistic way अगर आप देखते हो तो अघोर मतलब घोर इज डार्कनेस. आप उसको लिटरल डार्कनेस भी बोलो, नहीं तो मेटाफोरिक डार्कनेस बोलो. Where it's the unknown, the darkness with respect to negativity. एक dark बोलता है ना, the dark web या the dark thing. So Aghor, he or she who isn't afraid of the darkness is Aghori. And this is particularly from the spiritual perspective. Aghori एक साधु होता है या साध्वी भी होती है, okay? But the percentage of साध्वीज are very less. वो अलग discussion हो सकता है. But अघोरी साधु या अघोरा जो होता है, he or she is somebody who has done a different kind of, to us, which is challenging tapasya and execution of certain kriyas, which makes him fearless. And they go on a route which is shorter, therefore also very tough, because they have to go through dark aspects.
शॉर्ट पाथ्स कभी-कभी ज़्यादा टफ होते हैं.
Yeah, shortcuts are dangerous, but if you know, shortcuts without cutting short is a good shortcut. So they don't cut short on anything. In fact, they go more intense. So ये जो अघोरी साधुस होते हैं, they practice certain sadhanas, certain kriyas, and which are dark, as in they are not in a negative way. They're difficult to practice. Even that is darkness. Easy नहीं है. In fact, I can use your word, the most raw. And they reach a destination which I have understood as Shiva Tattva. They merge with the Shiva Tattva. They get enlightened.
Okay.
Because they are Shiva Bhakts. Basically, Aghori Sadhus are Bhaktas of Shiva. They describe themselves as Ganas of Shiva, Sevaks of Shiva. And they want to meet Shiva. They're so positively, I think, desperate or keen that they will go on this path which is tough. So ये होता है एक अघोरी साधु. और उसका जो उसकी जो जर्नी होती है वो अघोरी साधना के थ्रू होती है. एंड टू री एम्फसाइज, ही और शी हु डज नॉट फियर द डार्कनेस, बिकॉज दे फील थ्रू द डार्कनेस दे विल सी द लाइट फास्टर. सो आइदर यू गो दिस वे और यू गो अराउंड. उसको टाइम लगता है. भक्ति योग है, मंत्र योग है. यहाँ पे दे डू ऑल दैट एंड दे डू मच मोर.
राइट.
Like for example, how difficult would it be for somebody to, or how easy would it be for somebody, Jay, to go to a Smashan Bhumi at say 12 o'clock in the morning? Okay, just going there. Go there, Har Har Mahadev करके आ जाओ. I don't know how many people go there alone.
Yeah.
They not only go there and sit there and meditate, they do sadhana for days. That's why they are called Aghori Sadhus. They don't fear. And if they conquer fear, then the journey for them becomes shorter.
Yeah.
What we fear delays our journeys.
So उनकी जो जर्नी,
I hope I've responded to your question.
So I'll take you on various
Sure.
pathways about Aghora, because personally since past 1 or 2 years I have पता नहीं क्यों but एक fascination है with अघोर साधना. तो अब जैसे एक अघोरी है, I have seen a lot of videos, पता नहीं अब उसमें कितना सच दिखाते हैं लोग, कितना झूठ होता है, जैसा आपने कहा. तो I want to know every aspect of their life. तो एक नॉर्मल इंसान है, उसको अघोरी बनना है, कैसे बनता है वो?
It starts first, Jay, with the understanding that you can't manufacture a desire to be an Aghori.
Okay, it comes from within.
Yes, and I'll go one step ahead and tell you that it comes from within. That desire to be an Aghori comes from within, from previous life. मतलब वो उनकी एक जर्नी होती है, वो पास्ट लाइफ में खत्म हुई है, बिकॉज दैट बॉडी हैज प्रॉब्ली गॉन थ्रू दैट. दे स्टिल नीड टू गो थ्रू द प्रोसेस ऑफ अघोरी साधना. दे टेक बर्थ एंड एट अ पर्टिकुलर एज वो अवेकन होता है एंड देन दे से हो गया. बिकॉज हाउ डू यू थिंक इट्स ईजी टू जस्ट से मुझे अघोरी बनना है? भाई, सो द माइंड सेट ओनली हैज टू बी डिफरेंट यार. फॉरगेट अघोरीज. आपको स्पिरिचुअल भी बनना है तो वो एक आप लेके आते हो. Jay, you look around, you just shortlist 20 people in your age group. You're 25, right? How many people are spiritual? With due respect to them. How many people are, all are amazing people, but जो spiritual एक keenness होता है, वो जो drive होता है, अगर आप आपके 25 friends में shortlist करोगे तो you will understand the percentage of those who really have that is lesser. Much lesser. I'm speaking from my own experience as well. तो उनको time लगेगा. That's exactly what happens. So they will see something, they'll say मुझे भी करना है. It's like, you know, I saw once Bruce Lee's martial arts movie यार. मुझे भी करना है. For 3 hours afterwards. उसके बाद वापस वड़ा पाव मस्ती किया. किधर? Where is Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee, where is me? तो you can feel it intellectually because you're seeing a particular yogi, an Aghori sadhu, for example, meditating, and you know, you see a documentary, so you feel wow, you feel fascinated intellectually. फिर वो खत्म होगी documentary. उसके बाद you're seeing a documentary on mermaids. मुझे mermaid भी बनना है. वो उतना तो नहीं, because I've seen some documentary. I love to watch documentaries. And there's a beautiful. We should do another podcast on mermaids.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's unbelievable. It's beautiful. It's the evolution of the body.
What?
That they were stuck there. There was because they were stuck. They evolved. It's true, right? It's an evolution, and there are certain times when they only evolve themselves to adjust to the environment. वो अलग बात है. But coming back, that's good content for you. We should do a podcast on that. And I've not only seen the documentary, I've also because I'm very intrigued by this.
Have you seen that one video? वो अभी YouTube, I think so, it's going viral. There's this sailor, and in the middle of night, I think so, 3 a.m. he hears these mermaids ka sound.
Yeah.
So that is also fascinating. I mean,
so there are yogis, for example, completely a segue from what we're talking.
Yeah.
There are yogis who can meditate beneath the water for hours, days, weeks.
Okay.
What have they done? Do they have gills? No, they have mastered the control over lungs. अरे वो तो छोड़ ही दो. Normal people यार, जो yogis होते हैं, normal मतलब योगा करना. You can hold your breath for 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. A normal guy doing yoga will be able to hold his breath for 7-8 minutes. Can you do it?
No.
But you have to train.
Yeah.
There's one guy who has that ice water, and he does, he can be in that cold water, and he does some kind of breathing technique. What I'm trying to tell you is there are people who have mastered different things. Coming back to your point is, it is okay to some extent to have intellectual kind of understanding of Aghoris and getting that fascination, but to be really taking that path is not easy. Normal yogis, sannyasis, when they meditate, they do it at the Brahma Muhurta, 3 o'clock. They have to wake up at 2 o'clock, maybe 2:15, स्नान करके 3 बजे सुबह for their life. हम लोग 6 बजे उठ के ईगो आता है यार, 6 बजे उठा मैं आज, किधर बनेंगे यार? To be a normal Aghori तो अलग ही है. They will sit on the burnt ashes of a dead body for 8-10 hours to practice certain sadhana. So जिसको बनना है अघोरी बाबा, so it जिसको वो आता है अंदर से, they don't think about all this भाई. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah.
वो सोचते
thought नहीं है वो.
हाँ, they because it has gotten awakened, so they're just continuing from where they left off. So for them like तू स्मशान में भी जा रहा है, हाँ तो मतलब, so for them it's like in the sense they are not focused on oh bhoot and all. They are going to say ये साधना से I can connect with the bhoot, which can help me to intensify my sadhana. अलग ही zone में है भाई.
So आपने
which is what made me interested in this.
Exactly, and आपने एक चीज की कि वो awaken होता है. मृत्यु से क्या कनेक्शन होता है अघोरी का? बिकॉज तो फॉर द मेजॉरिटी ऑफ माई लाइफ मैं एक एथिस्ट रहा हूँ, मतलब आई हैव नेवर बिलीव्ड इन गॉड. एंड देन 2 years बैक मेरी ग्रैंड मदर शी पास्ट अवे, एंड उनका अंतिम क्रिया जो अंतिम संस्कार होता है वो करने हम स्मशान भूमि गए थे. एंड वहाँ पे जो मैंने चीज़ें एक्सपीरियंस की उस 1-2 घंटे में completely change कर दिया मुझे. तो I got to know कि
can you I'm now keen. I'm now the podcaster here.
Yeah.
What happened? What did you feel? If you can articulate in some way.
Yeah. So,
because that's changed your life. So
yeah,
in terms
yeah.
of being non-atheist.
So when I was there, मैंने कभी लाइफ के बारे में बहुत डेप्थ में नहीं सोचा था. It was always materialistic चीजें, मुझे क्या चाहिए लाइफ में, that. But when I saw कि my grandmother who was alive just like 2-3 days back is no more there. उनकी बॉडी अब उसको हम बॉडी कह रहे हैं, उनको हम मेरी दादी भी नहीं कह रहे.
I know.
Everything has changed within seconds. And उनकी बॉडी वहाँ पे जल रही है वो. And something in my mind changed. I started crying. And उसके पहले जब घर पे भी बॉडी थी, सब लोग आ रहे थे दर्शन करने के लिए, मैं नहीं रोया. बट वहाँ पे विद इन दैट वो 1-2 घंटे का जो पीरियड होता है, मैं इतना ज़्यादा रोया हूँ, शायद मैं अपनी लाइफ में कभी नहीं रोया. कैसे कहाँ से वो इमोशंस थॉट्स आए, आई हैव नो आइडिया. एंड उस वक्त आई फेल्ट अ कनेक्शन विद सम हायर पावर. मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि कौन सी पावर है, बट आई जस्ट फेल्ट इन माई हार्ट कि कुछ है मेरे आजू बाजू जो मुझे शायद प्रोटेक्ट कर रहा है, मुझे आंसर्स दे. एंड देन फ्रॉम द नेक्स्ट डे सब कुछ चेंज हो गया. आई बिकेम स्पिरिचुअल. आई डोंट नो, मैं मंदिर कभी नहीं जाता था, शायद अब भी उतना नहीं जाता, बट आई फील दैट कनेक्ट.
So who's responsible for this? You know that, right? Firstly, I don't look at death as how you would look at, and I'm not saying this with arrogance and like, oh, मैं कुछ अलग सोचता हूँ. I look at it from a very practical perspective. तू मेरे को बात बोल. When you wear this lovely shirt with all zips to the side and all, जो कुछ अच्छा पहना है तू, बाद में मैं लेके जाएगा वो आफ्टर तू कितना 1 बरस 2 बरस 3 बरस 4-5 बरस के बाद तू बोलेगा चलो दिवाली के टाइम पे ये दे देते हैं, दूसरा ले लेते हैं. दैट इज कॉल्ड डेथ ऑफ द शर्ट. It's interesting when a person dies, we call it a body, right? Becomes inanimate, like just a material body. How sad. I mean, it's interesting. Like my father passed away 2 years back, and I was not even there when he passed away, but fair enough. I don't look at it as death. That soul had to, my dad was 76, that soul had to go into another body on a higher realm, and you have to respect that. Of course you miss, that's why we cry a lot. We miss. You missed, you cried because this entity who you loved so much is no more with you.
Yeah.
But that entity is somewhere else.
Yeah. But just to cut you short here for a brief moment.
Sure.
I cried for first probably 15 से 20 minutes के लिए I cried for my grandmother. After that, what I cried for, I have no clue. I mean, I'm 100% sure it was not for my grandmother. Sure. It was just वो energy का level इतना ज़्यादा हो गया था कि मैं fathom ही नहीं कर पा रहा था कि हो क्या रहा है. And that's why all of the emotions they came out like a flood.
I know. So I'll just continue with and using your interjection as well. Like when I talked about the shirt, I'm just giving an example that when a soul has lived in a body for a good number of time, the body also starts aging. And there comes a point, I feel, where the body is not able to take it, but the soul is still vibrant. So the soul has to also find itself in another body, which is why the birth happens, right? And so for your grandma, she passed on. I always say passed on.
Yeah.
Not died. मतलब died है. What a caterpillar calls death, a butterfly calls life.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And if you have understood this, then there is no death. It's just pass on. Because the caterpillar was saddened कि हो गया मेरा. But the caterpillar has only become a butterfly. But I don't think the caterpillar realizes that. But butterfly has got wings.
Yeah.
So I look at a close one passing like that. They've reached a different realm. Now, when you talk about why you must have felt this, since you're putting this question to me, see, you're also a soul, dude. There's an interest in you. That's why you invited me to talk about this. There's something, no? There's a reason. At 20, you're 25, right?
Yeah.
At 25, you're keen to know about all this. Are you realizing? If you see yourself from a third perspective, you'll be surprised. You're 25 पे ये सब बोल रहा है तू? Okay, there is an aspect that you brought with your birth, which probably got a little scratched and awakened when you went to the Smashan Bhumi when your grandmother passed on. And my heartfelt condolences, and she's in a beautiful, that soul is in a different beautiful body is how I look at it. But coming back to you, I think something got awakened, and it was almost like you realized that that atheism that you were experiencing it just went away.
Yeah.
And the gates opened up, and that's why you don't know why it happened. Something must have gotten awakened, some memories, and maybe it was meant to happen. So who made it happen is your grandmother, in a very different way. I hope you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not confusing myself as well, because these are not easy things to articulate. But I do feel that's why after that, when you came back, वो जो gate open हो गया, वो open ही है अभी तक. See yourself, right? And I see some of your colleagues as well, keen to go to Kailash. One of your colleagues is chanting the Shiva Tandav Stotra with intensity. At what age? 25? कुछ तो है. Again, take you back. 25 friends को shortlist करो. See the percentage of those who are really like that and those who are generally fine. I was like that when I was 20 till the age of 23, because at 24 my guru came into my life. Not that I was some idiotic rebel and all. I was normal. But sometimes you need a catalyst. Your visit to the Smashan Bhumi at that point was a catalyst.
Yeah. Wow. So
interesting, no?
Exactly. And sometimes it baffles my mind, like, how is all of this possible? Like, we are just a speck in the vast universe, and then I have no questions nor answers. Like, we are just existing. You
have the lights, right? But this is because of electricity. Metaphorically speaking, for me, electricity is God. And we are all the light particles.
Yeah.
And our journey is to go back to electricity. And so every particle, as in us, or that light particle, now that light particle is light particle. We are also particles connected to that. Or another way is the ocean. We are droplets. And we are somewhere else. We've got to merge again and go back to the ocean of consciousness. That journey itself is what I would say, people say the play. ये तो एक खेल है, वही तो है. We are all, yeah, but then there is a reason why we are talking about this. There's an interest. So slowly the particles, some of the particles, the awakening happens. And then there are the yogis, the sadhus, who are guides for us to say, bhai, aa jao. I'll tell you what real value of life is. Materialism is not the only way and the source of happiness. You can sit for 10 minutes and meditate intensely. You will feel more happiness than probably buying a new car. Because you buy a new car and then the tire gets punctured, for the next 3-4 hours you're gone. They to ek scratch aa gaya gaadi pe. Where's your happiness? So they're all short-lived. I mean, I love materialism. We all love, you want this, a laptop, whatever, because sometimes they're functional as well. But is that the real source of happiness? So this all comes, I think, Jay, when the spiritual aspect grows within us. We start to ask questions, and then if you have a guru to guide, like I have and some of us have, then it's a nehle pe dehla. It's like an icing on the cake. Otherwise, we take more time. When the guru comes, it's like you want to do martial arts, and there's no teacher. Tu ha hu karta baithega yaar. There has to be a structure. So the teacher says, Baba, पहला white belt करो, बाद में white, yellow, whatever, then reach black belt.
Yeah.
So this is how I, look at life and how I hope responded to your question.
Yeah. So bringing you back towards the Aghor conversation, आपने explain किया.
When you say bringing you back, ऐसा तो हाथ करता है, मैं बहुत किधर तो चल नहीं चाहता हूँ ना भाई.
नहीं. We took a segue and that was important. I think so. जो देख भी रहे, सुन भी रहे, उनके लिए भी important है. I don't want to give them just one perspective of Aghoris as well. I want to give them a
Actually, I'm
perspective
enjoying this because it's so interesting that you are also telling me about your life.
Yeah.
And for viewers, I see a podcast like this is where they listen to both of us. Because you're also a youngster, you're also living a life and you have some perspectives towards spirituality, you have some questions. So
can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Since जब season 3 start हुआ था, we made one decision which we were very clear about. We are going to treat every podcast as a Guru Shishya Parampara.
Wow.
So right now this is for me and for my team as well. This is Guru Shishya Parampara. We are taking your blessings, we are taking learnings from you in this episode, and that's how I treat every episode now. And that has helped me learn much more than I could have probably by treating it in a normal, just a conversation.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Let me just reiterate. My Guru, Shishya, Parampara.
Wow.
We are all students only. It's just that when you go to school, you'll find a student who's in the 10th standard, 8th standard, 5th standard, 3rd standard.
Yeah.
हमको तय करना है हम लोग कहाँ पे. शायद at my stage or age of life, I could be slightly few years like in the 8th standard. And you may be in the 4th standard. ठीक है?
Yeah.
But principle वही है.
Beautiful way to put that.
It's true. That's the way it is because that's how we have been. As students, we've been trained to think by our guru, and that's the right way. Is who's the real guru? Guru is he or she who dispels darkness as well.
Yeah.
Who dispels ignorance, who guides you towards the light. So that's why I say, even in a non-spiritual context, each of us should have a mentor. Each of us should have a role model. कुछ तो कोई तो होना चाहिए. Otherwise, we may slip into arrogance. We need to. It's not like we become completely at the feet of the person and do anything. No, we have our self-respect. But if somebody is into herpetology, somebody wants to catch snakes, right? So there's a Ron Whittaker who is my role model, for example, because you learn from role models. If somebody wants to learn stotrams and there is somebody who really chants well, that person becomes a guru in that context.
Right.
So, and I'm very happy that you're putting this podcast in a way which is contextualized as spiritual, a transaction between a guru in the sense of a person with knowledge and the person like you who's extracting that knowledge. And I think that process benefits the viewers.
Yeah.
Great.
So, when we are talking about gurus and जब एक नया अघोरी आता है तो a guru has to bring him in and initiate करना होता है एक मंत्र से या किसी उस तरह से.
Okay.
तो what happens exactly in that process? How does one become an aghori? Like वो आ गया अंदर से, आपने जैसे बोला था वो एक आना चाहिए आपको thought that came. You went to in search of a guru. You found a guru. अब क्या?
There is a word called initiation. Okay. So this initiation happens. It happens in all sections of sadhus. So for example, even apart from Aghori, even for the Naga sadhus, Naga Babas, वहाँ पे भी उनके जो अखाड़े होते हैं, they have a guru. मतलब एक मेन होता है जो इनिशिएट करता है. And you're right again. I'm just echoing what you said is जब भी वो अवेकन होता है ना, डिज़ायर एक अंदर से होता है वो कि ये नहीं है, this normal life is not meant for me. Okay, so they on their own, that intensity is so high, so strong, they end up एक हो जाता है वो. Okay, ऐसे ऐसे करके वो मैच हो जाता है. You'll find somebody so intense that he just leaves the house. वो वैराग्य इतना strong हो जाता है. Kind of he understands or she understands that this is not meant for me, so they walk, they trek, they go to the Himalayas. I know of some sadhus, but that awakening happened and they left everything and went to Rishikesh. And they came across the guru who said, okay, matlab, as if that guru also was looking out for this entity. And then there are certain tests. When I say test, not exam, matlab paper leke aaya aisa nahi. Test as in, see, okay, fine, I have a lot of intensity, for example, to be the Aghori and I feel it, etc., etc. But when I meet the guru, I have to also, the guru also tests whether kitna tak wo ready hai, the preparedness hai ki nahi. After which, there's this proper initiation. So, Aghori ka initiation alag hota hai. Naga Baba's initiation alag hota hai. But generally the process hota hai na, it's the same. The guru makes him the chela or the shishya. And a guru mantra diya jata hai. And that's how that connection gets established, and then it gets stronger.
Okay.
Then certain, just say once you become a student of, for example, you want to do a PhD, okay, a doctorate in podcasts. And there is, because in PhD you need a guide.
Yeah.
So guru ho gaya wo. So then once the connection happens, say for example for you, there'll be things, assignments given to you.
Okay.
For your progression as a podcaster. So for a Aghori Sadhu, he's just gotten initiated, there are certain exercises given, kriyas given. And based on how intensely the kriyas are performed, which they are, because that's why he has come out of that house and he knows or she knows that वो बनना ही है. तो 3 घंटे बैठ के साधना करना है तो वो खुशी से करता है. That's why I said earlier, if I want to be Aghori, ऐसे नहीं होगा कि चलो यार गुरु भी मिल गए अभी, okay, चलो I'll take you as Aghori Sadhu Mayur, okay, कल 2 बजे उठ के स्नान करना है, okay, स्मशान भूमि में जाके 3 घंटे बैठ के ये मंत्र है वो करना है. Will I be able to? No, but they will be able to, because they know that. And when the initiation happens, in certain initiations the Kundalini also gets awakened.
So I have to like stop you here because बहुत सारे लोग होंगे जिन्हें कुंडलिनी क्या है वो नहीं पता होगा, तो आपको वो explain करना.
Okay, so now there is no concept of segues, okay?
Yeah.
It's all great ways.
Yeah.
Because we go into different lovely topics, we come back.
Yeah.
So your responsibility as a podcast is to bring me back.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sir.
But they're all connected.
Yeah.
So chill. I'm enjoying this actually. So Kundalini typically are energy centers, energies, okay, embedded within the body. There are 7 energy centers, starting from the Mooladhara, and it's called chakras. So they're like chakras, and there are different interpretations of how it is visualized. So it is also visualized as a serpent that's coiled. It's in a coiled state, okay, and it, when we say Kundalini rises, the serpent rises, metaphoric serpent, not literally, through the spinal cord, and there are these, at different spaces there are these energy chakras, and when it pierces through the chakra, it starts vibrating.
Okay.
So Mooladhara is the chakra at the base,
Okay.
of your spinal cord. Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Ajna, Sahasrara. And as I was studying this more, this is all intellectual, Baba. I am not a Kundalini expert. I am just sharing this with you. That there are chakras even higher than that,
Okay.
above your head.
So beyond these
7.
These 7, there are more.
Yeah.
Okay. How many more?
There are quite a few. There are like another 7, 8 or maybe 11 chakras higher.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I again make my interpretation here. You heard of the word aura, right? कि ओ इसका aura बहुत है. What is aura? Is something that's around you. So when you are more enlightened with knowledge or with initiation, with meditation, your aura also becomes more positive. That thing that's around you. I feel that's the chakra even higher than your Sahasrara.
It's
ऐसे
like
कहा
a
जाता है?
superpower.
Sorry?
It's like a superpower.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting way of putting it. These things give you the wisdom. I feel when these chakras are awakened, they do open up certain competencies within you. For example, Vishuddhi chakra, if it's open, it is said that your oratory skills, your voice changes. You can be more impactful as a speaker.
Okay.
When your Ajna chakra opens up, it is said that your ability to perceive the other person becomes highly enhanced. Your intuitive powers, so-called, get awakened. And if you really master this, you can even read minds, is what is said. So for all the viewers, I am not into all this because whatever my guru decides, which is mantra japa. I've been initiated into mantra japa. Guru mantra japa. बस मेरे लिए बहुत है.
Okay. So sir, you were talking about how Aghora's initiation hota hai, and then there are several other...
So there are activities, spiritual activities that are done to, which is the path of the Aghora path.
Yeah.
Right? And then as and how the guru feels that, okay, from this, what that Aghora has accomplished, I need to now initiate him into something more as an advanced kriya. So even in the book you'll see that happening, right? So yeah.
So the book Aghori,
An Untold Story.
An Untold Story, yeah. That was, I don't know how to describe it in words. It was an eye-opening book for me for many reasons. Because firstly, I knew कि हिमालय में कुछ monks है, कुछ sadhus है, who have been meditating for several years.
Yeah.
But then I came across this one chapter where, if I'm not wrong, 5,000 years. You have mentioned 5,000 years. से एक Aghori Sadhu है who is meditating. I really want to know what is the truth of this. If you can explain.
Let me initiate my answer by telling you that if you have got to know about an Aghora who lives for thousands of years and then comes out of the cave after every 500 years, you'll be surprised to know that there are sadhus of either Aghora sect or other sects who have mastered themselves or have gained mastery over their own physicality, that they can also turn themselves into energy. Okay. They don't need a body as well, and they become ageless. So 5,000 is nothing. And the most beautiful example of that, which a lot of people know, is Mahaavtara Babaji. If you read the book, The Autobiography of a Yogi by Swami Yoganand, which is my first book I read on spirituality, Swami Yoganand mentions and mentions about the miracles, and there is no age beyond age. 5,000 is for Mahaavtara Babaji 5 years. It's through yogic practices, Jay, it's through yogic practices for years and years and years and years and years that they've gained this mastery. Some of these yogis like to remain in the same body so as to not disturb their meditation. There are ways by which you can conquer hunger, you can conquer thirst. There is a mudra called Khechari mudra, where you, I think it's there in the book, maybe in part 2, I don't know. So there's this point where a yogi can conquer the thirst for water. And conquer as in, the yogi won't feel the need to go and drink water, because they don't want to break their meditation. So they'll take the tip of the tongue, they'll pull it back, and they'll sort of pull it to the point upwards of their throat, up of the throat. There's a particular point, they touch it. Just like we secrete saliva, right, in the mouth. So when Khechari happens that way, a particular fluid is secreted, which is enough for them to survive.
Wow.
That's one. One more I'll tell you. So this is an interview I heard of a yogi in the jungle. This yogi wanted to meditate, and so he was searching for fruits and stuff, and he couldn't find, because in jungles it's not easy to find fruits. Also there's a possibility that you might eat something which is not edible or which may not be good for your stomach, which could be even dangerous for you, could be poisonous. So while that happened, he somehow survived, but then he met, while he was in the cave, another yogi came in or whatever, sort of met him there, and he said, don't do all this, take this herb, eat it. For the next 15-20 days, you will not feel any hunger or thirst. This is what I've heard literally. So this yogi was saying that so much is hidden in the forests of the Himalayas. So people ask me this Aghori and Untold Story, is it true and all? I feel like smiling because there's so much more that is there, not there in the book.
Which will be in part 2.
which will be in part 2. Now they've started, so I don't write, it started now. And somebody asked me, has it started? I said, exactly, good question, it has started. I have not written, it started. Because there's a lot. There's a lot about yogis in the Himalayas, especially in the caves of the Himalayas. The Tibetan monks, for example, in Tibet and in the Himalayan region. I was telling somebody that there are certain monks who've reached a point of meditation where now they go on a retreat. Not retreat as in masti wala nahi.
Yeah.
Their retreat is where they go completely in isolation, maybe some peak of a Himalayan mountain, where already, because it's a regular thing, it's a course, it's a 3-year thing. They go for 3 years, they're in that small little brick wall cabin, okay, not even a cabin. They sit there for 3 years in meditation.
Wow.
If you are, so again the same thing happens through the mastery over what they do, the yoga. They don't have to really eat a lot, or maybe very, very less, because their main focus is on meditation.
Yeah.
When you practice some things like this, Jay, obviously you start also gaining mastery. I have seen this. Tibetan monks, a particular kriya through chanting that they do, they develop so much of heat energy that in snow they cover themselves with a shawl, and the shawl becomes wet with their sweat.
Wow.
Because of certain cycles of mantras that they do, chanting. It opens up the heat chakra. Now, if you go by the laws of physics, the laws of life, imagine you sitting inside a fridge and sweating. How is it possible? It is possible when they do those chantings. That is why we do these spiritual retreats with my Guru's blessings. I conduct this at near Bhima Shankar and in Goa and certain places. So 2 things we always talk about with our participants. We sit in the morning like 4:30. We do the power of Om vibrations and Bij Akshara chanting.
Okay.
In a particular way. Again, something that I have also learned from my Guru.
What is Bij Akshara?
So mantras hote hain, Om Namah Shivaya. Okay, take an example of Om Ganapate Namaha. Bij Akshara will be Gang Ganapate Namaha. They are seeds. They're very powerful and they become part of a mantra. But by itself also, if you say it in a particular way. So, for example, we practice Om Aing Hring Shring Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Aing Hring Shring Gurubhyo Namaha. That sound, Aing Hring, they're Bij Aksharas. They're very powerful. But when you say Gurubhyo Namaha, it softens it. The effect becomes proper.
But powerful in what sense?
It awakens. So let me not go very technical, but when we do this for the participants, it awakens emotions of high level of courage, conviction, creativity as well, communication as well, and along with it, calmness. It awakens, yeah. It's very powerful, but so if you just say Om Aing Hring and all that way, no, it has to be done it has to be part of a body. So when we would also chant as part of our meditation as students of our Guru, it's not just Aing, not that way. It would be Om Aing Hring Shring Gurubhyo Namaha. So it has to be with the reverence to the Guru. Otherwise it becomes too powerful.
Yeah.
So you'll find sometimes in certain pujas, they Om Kling Swaha Om. So it's just got power. So Rishi Munis earlier used to use such Bijaksharas to perform, change things which were described as miracles.
Yeah. So, but these mantras,
Yeah.
if not used properly, they can have a negative effect as well?
Yes, so Guru Mantra is different. These are Bij Akshara chantings. Okay, if it gets embedded into a body, it becomes a mantra. There are mantras which can be chanted normally as well, which is the Gayatri Mantra. You don't need to be initiated as such.
Yeah.
You can chant. But then Guru Mantra is different.
Okay.
And it's, so for me, Jay, my life is completely, like there's so many things people talk about, this meditation, that meditation, which is cool, okay. मेरे लिए एक ही है.
The Guru Mantra.
That's
meditation.
it.
And I'm guessing you keep your Guru Mantra secret. You do
It
not
is,
reveal it.
yes. You can't reveal it. It's only between the Guru and the Shishya.
But
Otherwise, because of the concentration, it's an initiation. The power is in that.
Okay.
If you start telling people, the power also corrodes, it goes away. अच्छा तुझे ये मंत्र दिया है? ये वाह यार मुझे नहीं दिया. Then you're like, yeah. The moment the doubt comes in, you're gone. So it has to be protected. Some things have to be kept, that way.
But are these mantras, the Guru Mantras, are these public mantras or are these created specifically for one Shishya?
It's created for every Shishya. Now, if you get initiated by, suppose we have a Guru, okay, I'll just talk about it in a hypothetical way, and there are 3-4 of us. Typically, a Guru Mantra is given on the as in connected to a deity that you're very fond of. It's called Ishtadev, your closest God.
But
like the one you connect with.
Yeah.
जैसे आप, when you close your eyes and if you ask yourself or tell yourself, like, who comes to my mind when I want to really happily pray to? So I have a friend here who says Shiva. I'm a Shiva Bhakt. So that's, in a way, he could be initiated into a mantra with Shiva as the Ishtadev.
Okay.
Just like me. वो बताना ठीक है. So if there are 10 people who want, if the Ishta is Shiva, then mantra will be similar or same. Now I can't even venture there because I don't know. I'm not supposed to know. And I'm not even going to ask.
Yeah.
So if your Ishta is Devi, you might get a Devi mantra.
But what if you said your Ishta Dev is someone you revere to, like someone you really want to pray to? But what if I don't know who I want to pray to? Because 33 crore gods, how do I know who do I want to pray to?
Each of the 33 are all powerful representations of a higher force. Okay, let's get that very clear. So I was in the same boat at 24. I didn't know what's the meaning of Isht also. Yeah? At least you know what is Isht at 25. I didn't know.
And because of you.
अरे नहीं ऐसा नहीं ठीक है maybe. But I went to Swamiji because I wanted to take mantra japa only because I wanted to meet Swamiji.
Okay.
I didn't know what mantra japa is. Dude, at 23, 24, we could have done another podcast on a different topic altogether. But that's what happens, right? What happened to you at the Smashan Bhumi, right? In a different way happened to me at 24 when I saw Swamiji's photograph. Of course, I had read the autobiography for Yogi at 17. When I was 17. It's not like I was completely, but this intensity increase happened once I saw Swamiji's photograph. So coming to the point is this, I love my Guru and then I love everybody else. So I only wanted to get that. So I was told that Guru Mantra means Swamiji initiates. So मुझे chance मिल रहा है मिलने को. But mantra I had heard, I read the book. Ishtadev and all, I've not gone so deep into all that. Yeah. So when I went to Swamiji, I said, I don't know, I have no Ishtadev. I said, I just want to be a good human. I swear, I just said, I want to be a good human being and I love Swamiji a lot and I don't like jealousy and all. This is what I said, to be honest. And Swamiji smiled. Said, okay, so can I give you a mantra on my Ishtadev? And then whatever happened, happened. So it's like that.
Okay.
It's okay if I don't know the Ishtadev. But that connection with the Guru is probably what made me want to take the mantra. But then things change.
Okay. Changed as in?
कुछ बदल गया इंसान. From insane I became insan. Actually I became insane as well in a beautiful way once I went to Kailash. Yeah, it makes you mad. You know what mad is, right? I became motivated, adaptable and determined. MAD. पूरा mad हो गया मैं. Because I was tired of this rat race of 9 o'clock, matlab to reach Andheri station, then BST bus, and then go to the office and say good morning everybody. It was like Har Har Mahadev, kuch nahi tha, yaar, no dum. This Kailash happened and it just put me on a different track altogether. I like the way we are going everywhere, but we are all putting it into context. This is a unique podcast for me. I've never been so deep, really speaking on different topics. But I'm also enjoying the fact that you're sharing some of the aspects of your life, which is also very intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Very intriguing, very beautifully intriguing.
So the thing is, when we first...
If I don't still answer your question, pull me back. Huh?
Yeah, I will. So when we first talked on call, in my mind I had this one concept that we'll just do a 3 to 4 hour long podcast and we'll talk about everything in just one podcast, because that's how my mind is wired. I keep, even if I'm researching on one topic, I have this habit of going into segues and finding out, because for example, if I'm searching for Aghor, researching for Aghor, there will be a point where, as you said, Kundalini. Now I am fascinated by Kundalini. So this research will stop for a moment here. I will go on some other track. Then I'll come back again and I'll try to connect those dots.
Coming back is good.
Yeah.
Because I love getting stuck somewhere else.
Yeah.
So bring me back. I like it. See, the viewers also get if you talk about the same thing, it becomes beautifully monotonous.
Yeah.
But here I think we're going in directions which are still connected now to the root, which is spirituality.
Yeah.
So I love these. Like I said, it's not a segue, it's a great way. So all good. You can keep asking me. But yeah, I think I've shared these inputs with you about even Kundalini. Just one thing I want to say to you, Jay, is, and hopefully to all the viewers, is don't read and gather technical knowledge and then practice. Please.
Have a guru.
Of course. Har Har Mahadev. ये read करके, Baba, it's like, somebody gave me a lecture for 1 hour on how not to be angry. And then when that fellow in the train, it happened, came late by 10 minutes with a vada sambar, पूरा झाड़ दिया उसको. अरे मैं बोला अभी तो बोल रहा था कि how to control anger. So ये होता है यार. Somebody is explaining how to be disciplined in office by coming early. Himself comes late to explain how to come early is important. ये जो hypocrisy है. And same way also, learning about all this through books, even through a podcast, is only to activate interest.
धक्का देना है.
हाँ, but you have to go to a proper center for yoga, to learn yoga. For example, Kapaal Bhaati Pranayam is a very powerful way of breathing, okay? I practice it and I've seen the results of it. Again, it's not like, oh my God, what are the results? Do you levitate and all? No. You elevate your mind. People don't even know it's Kapaal Bhaati. Kapaal Bhaati को भारती कर दिया.
भारती, yeah.
तो बोलता भाई भारती किधर है? Bhaati, Kapaal, Bhaati is light, Kapaal is head. Understand? संधि विक्षेप करो. ये सब आता है जब भी when you learn something from somebody who's a yoga teacher. So Kapaal Bhaati, sir, I also want to try. बोलता भाई तू क्या डांस कर रहा है भांगड़ा? There's a way. So you can't just watch somebody there and say, I'll also do. Join a class, learn it properly, practice it, and then you say, okay, thank you. Now I'll go and practice it at home.
So what is the correct way? I just want
So
to...
Kapal Bhati is where it's the only one where you throw the breath off. Okay. Normally, if you see all the others, for example, the simplest is Pranayam. Anulom Vilom Pranayam. You block the right nose, right nostril. Hold, maybe 3-4 seconds. Like this, you hold. Then you release it. And you do the cycle. You can even do it without that. Just a normal pranayam. Inhale. Which people still don't do, right? Because life is so fast and all that stuff. But Kapal Bhati is like this. And there are 3 speeds. The one which I showed you is the medium speed, which is the best. Then there's a fast one. And the one which is actually tough, like riding a cycle, slow, is like this, the slow one. which is strong because you really take in and then you throw. So it is said metaphorically as well that you throw the impurities out and you take in the purity. But even from a simplistic perspective, when you do this, you can also lose your fat on your tummy. The organs inside your body function better. So your health improves. And in a yogic way, which is where the name is given, it can awaken the light here. But you got to learn it. The point I was making is you can't watch somebody and say, I'll try. You may get it, you may not, but why take a risk?
Exactly. Yes.
There's somebody who did this. My dad was telling me, one of his cousins, चक्कर आ गया उसको, बहुत करने लगा, too much.
But I'm guessing it's very tiring as well.
It is, and you don't do some things all the time. You have to give it a break. So I did a seminar once and I was talking about Pranayam, stress management workshop. And I said to the participants, it was in Gujarat, I said, when you take the breath in, hold it for 7 to 8 seconds. Maximum 10 seconds, but uske baad nahi. Okay, I finished that group. I came back again from Mumbai to Gujarat for the second batch. So this fellow came in, sir, मैं तो गिर गया चक्कर आके. Then 3-4 others were laughing, saying that, sir, आपने बोला तो 10 सेकंड, वो तो 2-3 मिनट तक होल्ड कर रहा था. Now why? It's like that swimming pool में होता है ना, अंडर वाटर कितना वो you can. ये गेम नहीं है यार. It's because he got chakkar because when you hold for such a long time, your brain doesn't understand how to process that. So when it is, so therefore these techniques you got to learn from a person who has been a practitioner of it. Beach Akshara is something which is simple. It's not about techniques so much. It's just about, that's why in Anahata, when we do the retreat, we sit, I show them individually. That's why we don't take more than 15 people so that everybody gets to do this. And it's not a Guru mantra. It's the Aksharas with the, at the end, the Guru Bhyo Namaha coming in. So it softens it. And there are people who are coming more times only because they're finding now that this is helping them even for personality development. So there's a dude who's coming for the 3rd time.
Okay.
His name is Chinmay. I said, Babu, like, okay, twice is okay. He says, sir, this is like helping me to gain my confidence. Socially, I'm more stronger. And like, so 3rd time, because I'll get something more, I want to practice with you. So this time we're doing Trataka.
Okay.
Trataka is where you keep a flame and you keep looking at the flame for a long time. It's like you stare at it for a long time. It's a form of meditation, very powerful meditation.
It is an advanced stage of meditation.
Yes, yes. So these people are coming like for the 3rd time. I'm getting them introduced to it.
Okay.
And then we'll keep practicing it. So it's a beautiful world of spirituality, isn't it? So many things, yeah.
So I want to, since we are talking about meditation, I'll bring you back to the Aghora topic that we started off with. How do Aghoris meditate? Because when I was doing my research, so I read your book, I saw a few videos, I read few other books as well.
Yeah.
And there's something very peculiar but very dark that came up, which is Shava Sadhana. And so one of the books which I was reading, the author said, there is something like Shava Sadhana, and I don't want to go into the details because it's not for normal people, but me being me, I researched more and I actually got a few videos and I saw what happens, and that shook me.
What do you see?
I saw an Aghori sitting on a dead body, and it was his own mother's body, and he had lit a diya in her mouth, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And he was sort of meditating. Why this?
So at the outset, I told you that there are methods of kriyas, and the types of kriyas are very different. It's dark, right? That's why it's Aghori Sadhana. They don't fear the dark. For them, it's not dark. For us, it's dark. Particularly when they use, if I may say, use the word, use a dead body, they use it as an instrument, as a way to strengthen their sadhana. Okay? So there are 2-3 perspectives I'll share with you. One of the things I researched and found out is that when you see them with a dead body, when they sit on the dead body, they also, they typically use a young person's dead body to extract through their own kriyas energy of that young person into them. Now, it's not anything wrong from their perspective because it's a dead body, but the energy is still there. So they sometimes wait for a cremation of a young person. They'll seek permission or whatever, and then they will do it by sitting on it. This is one part, right, where they try to get energies from the dead body of a young person, a young dead body, for their own upliftment of sadhana, which is why they do it. The other is as a way to help the soul of that entity get into the higher realm. Is also a reason why they sit, they put the diya. It's like they communicate with the soul.
Okay.
When a person passes away, passes on, right? Most of us, at least from the faith that I come, we have the 11th day, the 13th day. Kriya karm bolte na usko, kriya karm hota hai. And every kriya is done with the help of a pujari who chants certain shlokas, mantras. So when my father passed on, of course, his father is a father, so missed, and but at the same time I was completely involved as part of the karma, the pujas that happened. And what they were doing I was sitting on the terrace of our building and certain things were done. So they were remembering, they were calling out ancestors, and at the same time the Purohit was talking to the soul, to my father, ki don't worry, they're here now, they will take you to a higher place. So content wahi hai, matlab, the purpose is same, but they do it in a different way. The Aghori Sadhus, we do it in a different way. The guidance is required for the soul within the 13 days to guiding that soul towards the light with the help of ancestors.
Okay. So is it like something like black magic?
No.
It's just normal sadhana.
It's normal sadhana,
Okay.
of course. See, listen, Jay, and it's good you bring this up, is what looks like black magic is not black magic. In fact, what looks different and scary is not black magic. Because we have not conquered Ghor, everything looks Ghor. So when an Aghori sits on a dead body and practices Kriya, it's the purest form. But that form, that method is different compared to what we do. Om Chandika Swaha, Om the things that they do. Now, I don't know, I'm just giving you an idea for the viewers. So the Purohit will say the mantras. We also join the Purohit because I'm the son, so I'm performing it. Right? There, the Aghoris do it in their way. Now, anything, there's black and there's white. So, Jay, if that which is white is misused, it becomes black. You have a knife. You can cut the cake on a birthday, like I'll do today for my daughter. Or there's black, which we will not, because our samskars are different. So when there's corruption of the mind, Jay, when there's corruption, it gets corrupted. When greed seeps in, even the most amazing people can crumble. Power corrupts. Right? It's power corrupts is not confined to only politics and stuff or corporate. Power corrupts can be in any kshetra. Because ego comes in, I can. But then the moment that happens, you slip away.
So I'm guessing when you talk about mind corrupts and the power that you have, it corrupts your thoughts as well. I'm guessing the purpose of an Aghori's life is to have Shiva in his or her mind while they are doing whatever they want to. Is that true?
While they're doing whatever they want to?
As in, whatever they are doing in life, the main purpose of...
One second.
Yeah.
They are not doing anything in life except that.
No, because the next topic that I want to bring in this conversation is, and I don't know, this can be very negative and this can be offensive as well, but I do not mean to offend anyone. This is just what I came upon in my research, and that's why I want to touch upon this topic, which is necrophilia. A lot of people say that Aghori Sadhus have sex with dead bodies. And is that true, firstly?
According to me, it isn't.
Okay.
there are a lot of aberrations that come out of it. It sounds very interesting as a content to as a clickbait in your YouTube language. I, in my research, have not come across. I met Aghori Sadhus. Now, some things they do may come across as gross, okay, but not this.
Okay. So
Not
this is untrue completely.
In my knowledge,
Okay.
in my knowledge, it is untrue. But you will come across some texts, some books writing about it. I come from my school of research, homework, study, interactions, whatever that I have experienced in not only this life, ... that has not come in.
Okay.
Even if you see logically, practically speaking, they want to attain powers limited to the growth of their spirituality towards getting connected closer or getting connected with Shiva. In that, there are various kriyas they're doing. This is not one of it.
Okay. So this is just something which is used to create that clickbait wala thing.
Like by if you meet somebody who looks, sometimes looks can be deceptive. I tell people, many people tell me, can I also meet an Aghori? I said, you can meet a lot of Aghori looking people. Because it's very easy to grow hair and a beard and say something which is completely confusing and people are like, wow, this to, ये तो मैंने understand ही करनी नहीं किया, वो तो बहुत कुछ तो अलग ही रहेगा. It's very easy to deceive.
So let me ask you a two-part question.
Sure.
First, why do Aghoris look the way they look? Secondly, how do you find a true Aghori?
Any sadhu, if you look at a sadhu, if you visualize a sadhu, typically how do you visualize a sadhu is long hair, matted hair, okay, unkempt a bit, no, with all the, आजकल वो आता ना beardo and all that, they're unkempt. They're not unkempt purposefully, because their entire focus is not on themselves, which is why the hair becomes matted. When you don't wash your hair regularly, when you don't have to really look at आज मैं कौन सा कपड़ा पहनूं साधना के लिए, right? When you don't do all that, your focus is only on doing your 1 million malas which your guru has initiated you for that week or for that day. You don't have any idea what's happening to you. When food is only a way to sustain a little bit, then the only nourishment that they get is through the sadhana, through their sadhana as in the spiritual practices, which is why they look like that.
Okay.
Jay, you already have a nice, good, growing beard, all right? You decide to say that, okay, you say, Mayur, you know what, I'm going to research on becoming the bestest podcaster, and therefore I'm not going to think about anything else but study and podcasting. I'm not going to think about myself. After a year, you look...
That has happened actually. Just 3 podcasts before, they know, because, and it's live on YouTube as well now. My hair, my everything was really shabby because I was deeply into my own work and research.
You answered.
So I'd forgotten to take a haircut.
I think, you know what, it's becoming ironic now that you answer my questions more beautifully than I do.
No, sir, not at all.
Because you just said exactly that, right? You are deeply into it. Mark your own words. When Aghori Sadhus get into sadhana, they're deeply into it. They're not thinking, there are no mirrors and all there, man. They don't even know how they look. Because they're only looking at one thing, Shiva. So that's why they look like that. Now what they do when it grows a lot, it's practical. They will tie it around, wrap it around. And that looks different. Jatadhari.
Yeah.
Right? Some people said, oh, are they trying to ape Shiva because Shiva is Jatadhari? Not really. They're all the same. Shiva as a yogi also has Jatadhari, no? वो करेंगे कोम लेके ऐसे नहीं ना. The purpose is different.
Yeah.
We are the people who want to look dude and a great man and all that, and fine, we are living in our own world, which is cool, which is nice. When we do a mantra japa, take a bath, purify yourself, good for us. They are purified inside. For them, external doesn't matter. In fact, you'll be surprised to know that they don't even, when we talk about shabby and all, they actually have a fragrance, divine fragrance, because the body generates that.
Yeah. You have talked about this in your book, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Mool Dhar or something else. But there is a chapter on this.
Yes. I won't speak much because I want people to read it and understand it and introspect on it. But coming back to your answer is, why is because they are not interested.
Okay.
If your focus, you answer it correctly, no? Like when you're totally into it, you didn't even realize. You forget about it. Up 2 baje utke, they take a bath, of course. They'll smear ash over their body. But they are not going to start grooming themselves like that and all.
There are better things to do.
They have to sit at 3 o'clock. उसके पहले जाके मंदिर में गुरु का चरण को स्पर्श करके फिर मंदिर जाके they have to start. So they start very early.
Yeah.
So what happens na, Jay, is these aspects are not given the pradhanya. They're not given the kind of importance. What is given importance is, oh my God, they live in a smashan bhumi. They don't live in a smashan bhumi. They meditate at the smashan bhumi. They live in caves.
Yeah.
You'll find more Aghori Sadhus in Girnar forest, for example, or in the Himalayan forest, or at near Kashi. Not only at the Ghat, somewhere in the maybe somewhere inside certain forested areas of Kashi. But people think that वो वहाँ पे मतलब वो स्मशान भूमि में रहते हैं. That's because of, I think, a very narrowed exposure given to people about Aghori Sadhus.
That's one aspect of their life.
Of course, but you can't paint the entire canvas with that one brush. And then rumors and all these things come up, they're called cannibals, and I mentioned this in many of my interactions with people like you. I mean, be careful when you describe our Hindu sages. We forget they're Hindus.
It is just something.
And they're called cannibals?
Yeah.
Firstly, understand a cannibal is that entity which kills and eats a person, that entity of the same kind. It's called cannibalism. You think Aghoris kill or what?
But they eat.
But that's not cannibalism. That's not cannibalism.
They eat a human after.
By definition, what is a cannibal, Jay? Tell me.
A person who murders someone to eat them.
Exactly.
The purpose is to eat them.
Which happens in the tribals and etc. etc. Abhi to wo bhi khatam ho gaya in Amazon. And that used to be also, you know how? Just because we are getting into lovely segues. It used to be war. And one of the things was that you are my enemy, I will consume you.
Yeah.
So it was not just cannibalism for food, it was more to show the power. So people have just taken something and splashed it on the Aghori Sadhus here. They're sadhus. The sadhu ka matlab hai jo sadhana karte hain. And they do consume a bit of it to extract the energy as well. Just
but
like when
the
they
person has died
of course.
Of natural causes, or like
they will only have it when they see it about to be cremated. They don't go out also. कोई है क्या ऐसे कोई दिखता है ऐसा थोड़ी होता है यार. I mean, but then it's important we bring this up because perceptions have been wrong. That's why I say read the book. You'll understand that they are actual sadhus. They practice sadhana.
They have a very human side as well, which I got to know from your book.
Yeah, they have tears because they are not interested in connecting with us humans because of the same reason they are not interested in their own upkeep. The same thing. And that's why when you go up to them and you want to, talk to them, you firstly can't talk to them. So they come across as angry. Yeah. They come across as indifferent because they are indifferent, but they're not angry. They will be angered because they're raw. So if you see in the book, some boys try to disturb, and so they will react. They are humans. They're like, live and let live. Yeah, let us be what we are doing. No,
they are not disturbing you. So
yeah, why? Because we are. Some of us are idiots because we will want to go check them out. It's like, in a forest, mujhe tiger dekhna hai, jaake, you might be eaten, man. So these are, for me, when I look at an Aghori Sadhu, and as I've seen them, they're like king cobras. Yeah, their eyes are so strong, red. Firstly, they don't sleep much. so eyes get red, and then they meditate a lot. So I don't know. I think so I hope I'm on the right track
so,
here.
So the second part of the question was, how do you find a true Aghori? Because there are many who are fake Aghoris.
Yeah, most of them are not. So there are levels. It's like this. You go and want to find out a black belt in martial arts and you end up finding somebody who's a yellow belt.
Yeah.
Technically still Aghori है ना वो, metaphorically. लेकिन वो नहीं है, वो अभी भी इधर ही है. It'll take time. And therefore we try to associate. So that's one. The other is we associate everybody with a look as Aghori Sadhu. So we got to be careful because like I said earlier, sometimes people take advantage of the faith of people. A lot of people are very gullible and naive होते हैं, innocent होते हैं. कोई ऐसा दिखा और इसने कुछ बता दिया ऐसे कुछ, तो they suddenly become weak. That's why I say guru होना बहुत ज़रूरी होता है हमारी लाइफ में. हमारे गुरु ऐसे, we should have our own guru, so we get guided properly. Your question is, how do you find? Firstly, you can't find like that. You got to pray for it.
Okay.
The other, which is more practical, is what happened to me is if you come across somebody who knows someone through contacts where there is a bit of genuinity there.
Yeah.
तो मेरे लाइफ में वही हो गया. When I met the two Aghoris, it was through certain participants in a training program who happened to be from the north, who had contacts, elderly people who knew, and they're genuine. They say if you go to Girnar also, you'll come across, but you got to go through some contact.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise you might just assume everybody is Aghori, and this yellow belt, black belt, वो भी सही है, because there are Aghoris who are extremely advanced and they don't want to be connected. But when you look at a white belt Aghori and a black belt Aghori, if I can put it that way, they all look same.
Yeah.
So even when you go to a martial arts, when you see, it's only the belt that makes you different, right? And the actions. But if you just see them standing, मतलब white से पता चलता है अच्छा ये तो अभी join किया है, yellow है, oh black belt है. But in Aghoris they're not wearing anything like that, right? So you can't make out.
Right.
You will only make out if you converse, and that happens only if you go. I feel if you go through some connect. I wouldn't personally just go and approach an Aghori.
Yeah.
It's like going and trying to, play or touch a king cobra.
Yeah.
Because they're in their own zone. Why do you want to trouble? It's like a beehive. They're in their own zone. Don't disturb. करना है तो प्रार्थना करो. Even I'll go one step ahead. There are people who say, how can I find a guru? मुझे भी चाहिए गुरु. Look at KitKat है क्या चाहिए गुरु. You pray. Intensity matters. You might get it this life, this year, this month, this life, next life. I don't know, but prayer.
A guru appears when the student is ready.
Exactly. And the readiness means your sadhana has to also go on, and the desire for the guru has to be very intrinsic within you. Not that you tell people, hey, मुझे guru I've been waiting for a guru in my life and all. तो उसमें क्या होता है? Oh really? What an amazing person, so spiritual. तो उसमें उसको cosmetic हो गया. You really want a guru? Don't tell the world. Pray karo. Should have tears coming through your eyes. You're talking about emotions of the Aghoris.
Yeah.
Accomplishment of certain kriyas, which are tough ones. The emotions of the Aghori also get awakened because they are connected to the Guru. ये भी एक बहुत important चीज़ है. Is the Aghoris, the Aghori Sadhus have a Guru. And जब भी गुरु शिष्य का जो connection होता है उसमें emotions आ जाते हैं. People think they're indifferent, angry. That is only if they're disturbed. In their own world, they're very vinamra. Don't judge the book by its cover. Even if you see the cover of my book, do you see that Aghori Sadhu on the cover of the book? You see a lot of karuna bhav in that. You see a lot of calmness, composure. But if you try to stir the beehive, they'll sting you. So don't disturb them. My point is, don't disturb them. Read about them, meditate, think about them. At least learn the positive perspectives about the Aghori Sadhus. Your respect for the Aghori Sadhu is more important than you wanting to meet an Aghori Sadhu. मिलके क्या करोगे आप? मुझे ना एग्जाम है, मुझे पास होना, ऐसे करोगे? You don't do that. Only thing you praise. एक तो I went because I wanted to know more and it was genuine. I didn't take any camera or whatever. I wanted to know. It was something that was within me since I was a kid. I got a chance, I went, and it all came into place. Now when I look back in the book, I don't think I wrote the book. It happened. Those thoughts came in. I believe in past lives. I do believe there's a reason why I love my guru so much. The shortlisting I told you about 25, मेरा भी ऐसा ही है. They're like, I used to write Sanskrit in English to learn it.
Wow.
Huh? They're prayers which I have learned to learn. मैंने translate किया English में, मेरे को लिखना भी नहीं आता था. एक दीप नमस्कार करके एक इवनिंग प्रेयर होता है. When my Swamiji comes, sits and we say that deep namaskar as an adulation and respect to the Guru and the Guru Parampara. And I was, वो जो awaken हो गया when I saw my Guru the first time, and then a few months later, I wanted to learn. And I remember the first shloka, Jay, that I learned was when Swamiji uttered it. Okay, it was the first stotra I heard in my life like that. This was when I was 24. Can I? Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and Swamiji had come to Mumbai. I was listening. This is just when Swamiji became our community's Mathadipati. Swamiji officially ordained as Mathadipati. So Swamiji said, Om Dakshinasya Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryanta Smarya Guru Parampara. And Jay, ye suna to something happened there. My Swamiji's voice is amazing. You can check out on YouTube and stuff. The voice and the intensity. And I'm standing, I'm like completely gone. So every time Swamiji would do a pravachan, deliver a pravachan, Swamiji would start with this particular shloka and another shloka. I got a walkie-talkie, वो होता ना Walkman. This is 1997, bro. Walkman लेके record किया, घर जाके play, rewind, play, rewind, play, rewind.
Wow.
हाँ, पागल हो गया मैं. अभी भी पागल नहीं हूँ. हाँ, अभी भी पागलपन बढ़ रहा है. I'm happy. ऐसा पागलपन अच्छा है भाई. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and I started reciting. There were instances where later on you sing you like Swamiji only, and I didn't know how to react because I would never think like that. It's my guru. So once Swamiji asked me, I've heard you sing like chant like me. So I was all, no, Swamiji. So I said, no, it's okay. It happens because when you're imbibing in the guru, you are so connected to the guru, you imbibe certain things.
Yeah.
So, and my thing is, I will copy my guru. So what? Guru तो है, और किसको copy करूँ यार? गुरु को तो copy करना है यार. Copy may be not the best word, but you're emulating the guru.
Yeah. You become like them because you are spending so much time with them.
Yeah.
And it's not even like you have to spend them. You are spending that time willingly. You are passionate about
Absolutely.
them, so it happens.
Absolutely. Very naturally, unknowingly, unintentionally, you are getting it in.
Yeah.
Not just the way the chanting would be done by Swamiji, the thinking, like I would understand, dude, I used to sit with a pen and pad and Swamiji would, deliver pravachans, I would make notes.
Wow.
I would make notes, okay, seriously. And then I would turn that into fair and present it to Swamiji to read, yeah. No exaggeration, seriously. And convert that into content on communication, leadership, because I could see everything in my guru. And so when somebody says as a corporate trainer for 20 years, where is the content? My guru only. और किधर जाने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. In fact, if I broaden this, a lot of people you'll hear saying that the best management fundas you get from the Bhagavad Gita. You can learn a lot about relationship management from the Gita as the way you interpret it.
Yeah.
So, but मेरे लिए guru में सब कुछ आ गया. In fact, I see Shiva in my guru.
Wow.
Because to go there at Kailash, to live along with Swamiji in personal seva, Swamiji ka tent where they would rest and live there in the tent for those days at Mansarovar, and I would be beside with another guy in personal seva. तो impact तो होगा ना भाई. It was beautiful. In fact, I was telling some of your colleagues here, please go, and the viewers as well, just make one trip to Kedarnath, make a trip to Kailash, feel that energy here. People have paid millions, no, to go and see the Titanic. Unfortunately, they had to let go of their life. वो क्या वो मतलब I'm sorry but Titanic तो हो गया यार, उसको देखने के लिए millions of dollars. Then people have already booked a place in space. Bhai, you're already getting an out of the world experience at Kailash for a fraction of the price that you would pay to go. And that too to a place where that Kailash is not even a mountain. It isn't when you see it in the real, and I've seen it. Guru meditating there, I'm watching the mountain. So at certain times I feel like saying Kailash is only Shiva. It's that form of Shiva. It's a center of energy. Electromagnetic waves. Something changed in some of us. That Hara Hara Mahadev का उद्भवत भी वहाँ पे हुआ, I feel. Your mind starts thinking differently, dude. At 28 it happened. You guys are 25. Still have enough time.
Wow. So, last question for this episode. We didn't touch upon this topic of female Aghoris, and I thought that there are no female Aghoris, but you told me that there are.
Yeah.
If you can talk about them, because a lot of people don't know that female Aghoris exist. So where do they exist? Because even when you go to Varanasi or any religious places, you never see female Aghoris.
True. The sadhana of an Aghori, the exercises, the kriyas that they do of the Aghoris as such, the Aghori path is very tough. It's very challenging. There are certain things which, because I mean, I respect obviously man and woman, but there are certain things where for a woman Aghori it's a little bit challenging, technically speaking, which is why there are lesser female Aghoris, Aghori Sadhvis. But if you want to see, then there's a temple called Kamakhya temple in Assam, Guwahati. You'll find, and that's a temple, a Devi temple, especially for related to Tantra. Okay, you'll find a lot of female Aghoris coming there.
Okay.
Yeah. मतलब Aghori Sadhus भी हैं, but Sadhvis भी दिखती हैं. But the percentage of Aghori Sadhvis is much less because it's very difficult sadhana. Practically speaking, I'm saying. But there are some. I've seen a particular sadhvi. I'm not saying that she is from Aghori Panth or Aghori Path. Could be a Naga. Okay, but a foreigner.
Wow.
Yeah. Because souls don't have geography, no? So that entity came in, and again that desire was there. Sometimes you come in, you say, oh, I found it. They ho gaya, and she took initiation from a Naga Baba, became part of an Akhada. Not easy.
Yeah.
But it is there. So this is my answer to your question. Percentage is less because it's the exercises are different. Okay, and there are other ways through which Shiva Tattva can be reached. So, which is why I think more sadhus, Aghori sadhus you'll see, even in Nagas also, because that entire aspect of sadhana is very different.
So, to end this podcast on a note which I would really want to know, you mentioned the word Shiva Tattva. What happens when an Aghori reaches that stage where he has attained Shiva? What happens?
The same thing happens, Jay, when a sadhu of any sect attains a position or a place of knowledge of who that person is. They reach physically they could be the same. At a mental level, they've merged with that. It's like, so there are certain examples. For example, have you heard of Raman Maharishi? At a very young age, they understood everything, they knew. So what happened? He was in a state of daze. He went beyond desires, he went beyond God. I mean, God, yes, but he had already attained. So some souls attain it very quickly. So when an Aghori attains it, two things happen. One is he remains in that state. it's a state of bliss. It's a state which is not intellectual, it's an experiential state where you see that energy, you understand you're part of the energy, not intellectually, really speaking. So they live in a state of joy and bliss. The other is, they guide others, Aghori Sadhus, they become gurus. My guru has attained the state of enlightenment, but guiding others. There are many others.
Attaining the state of enlightenment is same as attaining Shiva, or is it two different things?
So Shiva Tattva, because we are talking about this energy form and calling it Shiva, Mahadev, so we say Shiva Tattva. There could be another entity following the Devi. And so when they merge with the Devi, in the sense of they attain the consciousness of who that entity is. So where I come from, Jay, it's an energy which can be described as Shiva, Vishnu, Devi, but they're all similar. That energy is the same. Only the paths are different.
Ekam sat vipra bahudha vadanti.
Exactly. Again, you end up summarizing my answer in the most beautiful manner. I like it. But it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Har Har Mahadev. I'm feeling a bit dejected that we are ending this podcast because I love the ways, the whys, the ways, the segues, the great ways. But what I think what's interesting is that through this conversation, I think the viewer has gotten a lot of things to think about, ask questions, wonder, and hopefully get some answers as well. Maybe get some clarity as well, especially about the Aghori Sadhu. And I do hope that just as you invited me after reading the book Aghori and Untold Story, I do hope that people get to know about the Aghori Sadhus, the clarity, the respect for the Aghori Sadhus really heightens. And I hope that all of the viewers will spend at least a few minutes not every day, maybe twice, thrice a week, in doing some form of breathing, but through proper guidance. First learn. It's like, you want to learn tabla, you can't just dab, 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 dab. You got to learn the technique of tabla. So learn something and practice.
Thank you so much, sir, for doing this podcast.
Sure.
And for those who are watching or listening, you'll find the book ka link in the pinned comments. Do read this book because you'll get to know about Aghori Sadhus in much more detail. And some of the things that Mayur sir has written in the book, they'll blow your mind. I mean, I could have never imagined that there are Aghoris who, and you have mentioned one thing towards the end of the book, which I don't want to make public right now because it's super amazing. I'll tell you what it was of the podcast. But yeah, if you want to buy the book, the link will be in the pinned comments. And do hit the like button, subscribe to sir, follow him on Instagram, get in touch with him if you want to attend Anahata, a retreat that he's doing in Bhima Shankar. So thank you so much, sir, for doing this.
Thank you. Har Har Mahadev. Is it
Har Har
okay if I
Mahadev,
can recite a shloka for all the viewers?
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah? And all the friends out here.
Yeah.
And my way of saying thank you for this lovely interaction. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Shri Bhavani Shankaraya Namaha. Om Maunavyakya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam Varsishthante Vasat Rishiganaihi Avratam Brahmanishthaihi Acharendram Karakalita Chinmudramānandamurtim Swatma Ramam Muditavadanam Dakshinamurti Meede Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyommavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtayai Namaha Dakshinamurtayai Namaha Dakshinamurtayai Namaha. Om Namah Parvati Patay Hara Hara Mahadev.